For print awareness skill number 8, it is identifying the space between words. And what this means is that words are separated by spaces. And so why is this important to children? Why is this important to emergent literacy? Well, it's important because we need to understand, and children need to learn and understand, that words, when words begin and when words end, and that they're separated by a space. That way we're not blending all of the words together, and it separates it, and the sentence makes sense. If we didn't have spaces between words, I'm going to give you an example of what it would sound like. The bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave it a nervous sneeze. Achoo, 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 to the force of the sneeze, shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions. It sounds really funny. There's no space, so it doesn't tell the reader when the words end. They all blend together. So there's no way you're understanding or comprehending or even hearing any of the words and really the story that's being said. So children need to understand where the beginning of a word is and where the ending of a word is, then the space, and then when a new word begins and ends. And how we can do this is we can focus on a section in a paragraph or on a sentence, or we can even use the title. So if we look here, I can ask the children, and we did this before, how many words are in our title? And hopefully by this point, if the children are ready, you're going to get 2. And you can ask them, how do you know there's 2? And I know I do this with the kids in my class, and they'll tell me there's a space here. Now, if a child tells you 9, you're going to know that they're counting the letters and that they're not particularly ready for this skill. And we've talked about this before in a different module. So it's assessing and knowing what the children are ready for. Now, how you could use the inside of the text. And this would be when a big book would come in handy. But you can read the paragraph, so I'll read just the first 2 sentences. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. He stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. So say you read that whole paragraph. What you can do is block. This is really hard to do. You can block off a section. Or, I'm just going to go ahead and use... This is hard to do. It's much easier if you do this, obviously, on a board. But I would block off. I'm dropping everything. I hope you're getting the point of this, because this is hard. I would block off a sentence. You can't see with the glare. But one particular sentence of our sentence in that paragraph is blocked off. And I would ask the children, all right, how many words are in this sentence? And you can't see it, but because I'm too far away, hopefully you can see it there. So what we're hoping that the children will say is that there's 6. I'm going to take this away now. And you would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're right, there are 6 words in that sentence. It says, a snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. And when children are ready for this particular skill, when you're tracking, this is when you can lift up your finger. So you don't necessarily have to run it, but you could, if you're working on this skill, you could actually lift your finger. A snowshoe rabbit came hopping by. And that way they're understanding when you lift, that you're lifting because there's a space between the words. So again, this is a really important skill because we don't want it to sound how I had that jumbled paragraph before. We want children to understand and differentiate words from each other, and that words together make up sentences.